7. Protect credit cards and bank accounts. Keep in mind credit card account numbers and any data you can use to obtain a credit card number from a vendor is just as at risk as the credit card itself. To safeguard your credit card numbers, keep your number of credit cards you carry in your wallet or purse to the very least. Only carry one credit card if possible. Keep the others in a safe at home. Clear your wallet or purse of receipts that display private information. Put passwords on credit card accounts. Don't tell anyone your passwords or credit card PINs. Close accounts that are not needed. Take steps to safeguard credit card numbers when utilizing them to make online purchases, such as making sure Secure Sockets Layer or SSL is being used before entering credit card numbers. Never disclose credit card numbers over the telephone or via email. If you can't avoid disclosing a credit card number via email, use the encryption methods. Always cut up and discard credit cards for closed accounts. A lot of stores today have deals where if you apply for their card on the spot you'll save an immediate 10% on what you just bought. Everyone likes to save some bucks, but don't bother with those cards. They elevate your risk of having your identity stolen, and they also lower your credit score. The salesperson will look at you as if you're a fool, but get over it and come back next week. The merchandise will probably be 10% lower by then anyway. Protect bank accounts. Just like credit card numbers, your bank account name and number are just as vulnerable to theft and misuse as checks and ATM cards themselves. To protect your bank accounts, ask your bank to use a password to make financial transactions. If your bank doesn't offer the service, consider moving your accounts to another bank. Don't tell anyone your password. Protect the password as you would your ATM card itself. Carry your checkbook only when needed. Don't use checking account routing numbers when making purchases on the web. If you use a credit card, you are allowed by law to request a chargeback if the merchandise is not satisfactory, but you don't have this protection when paying by check. If a credit card is stolen, your limit of liability is typically $50, but this limit doesn't apply to unauthorized withdrawals from a checking account. Don't write down bank passwords or PINs. Don't use passwords that are simple to guess, such as maiden names or pet names. Read more advice about choosing secure passwords. Never discard unused checks or bank statements in the trash without shredding. 8. Use safe checks and use them sparingly. Make it a habit to always get your checks from your bank, because banks are far more likely to use ones that contain fraud protection features. Things like a watermark, thermochromatic ink, chemically reactive paper, and light-sensitive ink and fibers. You may save a few bucks going with one of those check supply places that advertise in the paper, but you're putting yourself at much greater peril. Best of all, write as few checks as you can get away with. Use a credit card instead. In today's environment, they're safer and leave you less vulnerable to losses. Avoid debit cards as well. They're as bad as checks, since the money is instantly withdrawn from your account, and depending on the circumstances you may be liable. With credit card fraud, the thief steals the bank's money and your job is to prove that you don't really owe it. With debit card fraud, the thief steals your money and you have to convince the bank to put it back into your account. Guess which one is easier? 9. Practice safe shopping. Internet shopping, no lines, no crowded parking lots, and you can remain anonymous. And so can the identity thief, as he hacks into a web merchant's database and steals your credit card number. To guard against internet shopping scams, follow these simple safeguards. Shop only from secure sites that will encrypt your order information and your credit card number before sending them to a merchant. To make sure your connection is secure, look for HTTPS at the beginning of the URL in the address bar. It's the S that's important. Also check for a little picture of a padlock or an unbroken key in the bottom right-hand corner of your browser window. Use only one credit card for all online purchases. That way it's easier to keep track of fraudulent charges. But if you're shopping on a department store's website and you have their credit card, then use that instead. Shop at sites you know. If you're not sure about a site, do a little research before you divulge your private information. Look for privacy seals like BBB Online, Trustee, or VeriSign on the sites where you shop. These colorful little logos, usually located at the bottom of a homepage, certify that the company adheres to certain privacy and security guidelines. Click on the seal to make sure it's genuine and to find out exactly what its placement on the site means. Keep detailed records of your online purchases in case anything goes wrong. 10. Lock up financial records in the home or office. You have no way of knowing if your household help, roommate, or a relative will end up being an identity thief. To protect your financial records at home and in your office, don't leave financial records lying around at home or the office where co-workers, hired help, roommates, or relatives can view private information. Don't share your computer with others. Don't share financial banking or stock trading web accounts or passwords with others. 11. Be aware of your surroundings. As you share private information in public places, be cognizant of your surroundings. To keep yourself aware, know if someone is standing behind you and check to see if they're watching you type. Be alert for anyone sorting through your trash bin. Do not use web kiosks or public internet terminals for financial transactions. Be alert for people attempting to trick you into disclosing information you don't need to disclose. Educate yourself about common scams committed via telephone, mail, email, and in person. Learn to recognize when you're being tricked into disclosing information you shouldn't disclose. Learn all about email scams and phishing by logging on to InTheftBlog. Be suspicious of unexpected calls or letters when a business calls or emails you and asks for personal information. Indulge in a little healthy paranoia. It's usually a clue that something's wrong. No legitimate bank or financial operation works that way, especially in this day of heightened privacy concerns. Make it a rigid policy not to get personal unless you are the one who initiated the contact. Even if the caller seems for real, it's best to double check. Anyone can sound professional over the phone and anyone can create an official-looking email. 12. Avoid sketchy ATMs. All ATMs may look pretty much alike, but I assure you they're not. Some of them are set up to copy your bank card as well as give you money. Some ATMs look like someone just put them there. Be skeptical of portable machines that you see in delis and hotel lobbies, especially ones that have a cord protruding from the back that's not plugged in. That means the data isn't being sent anywhere, it's just being recorded for a crook's eyes. You should never use an atmosphere that has a blank screen message that you've never seen before. Stick with real secure bank ATMs. The ones you see in drugstores, gas stations, and hotels are private ATMs that make money off the fees. Is the guy who put them there legitimate? Is he extracting the numbers off your card? These ATMs are unregulated and have been the source of giant identity theft rings. Though industry guidelines specify you should be allowed to buy an atmosphere, some vendors will sell to anyone who has the cash. Mind your own business and make sure no one else does. Keep an eye peeled for anyone standing nearby who seems a little too interested in your ATM activity. Use your free hand to shield the keypad when you enter your PIN. Stay tuned for more tips on identity theft protection. Log on to IDTheftBlog. You can also subscribe to our channel and follow on Facebook.